Brothers! He's right after us! Hit it! Hit that bitch! Hit that!
This fish is called the ghost fish, and it is completely transparent. Like if you were to swim by it in a hurry or something, there's no way you would notice it. The organs, the brain, the bones, everything in there is completely and totally transparent. This diver encountered the ghost fish while diving in Marsalifhorn Bay in Malta. And as we can see, not even the eyes are prominent, like it is just made to be hidden from everyone and everything. Great white sharks are known to be the ferocious and dangerous creatures all the time, but it is at times like these when they are so helpless and so vulnerable that we can't help but feel sympathetic toward them. And that is exactly how these people felt when they saw a great white shark all beached up on the shore. Who knows how she even ended up there? What they knew was that they needed to help her somehow by pouring buckets of water on her, dragging her into the water just any way possible. Being the threat she still was, they knew they couldn't just get her back to the water with bare hands. Hence, they arranged a boat, tied her up to it, and dragged her into the water, and took her to free her in the deep water. Hopefully, she will remember the kind humans and will return the favor someday. Moving on from the great white sharks to just the same size crab. Yes, you heard me right. A big, giant crab was seen washed ashore. The men filming the whole video got so excited that they ran fast in case the crab might go back into the water. As soon as they got a hold of it, they dragged it out of the water, and the video ended there. God knows what they did to the poor crab. This footage, recorded by a guy through his drone, shocked the world when it saw an osprey clutching a shark like a fish in its claws and flying home. Just imagine the power of those claws. It looks so easy for the bird. They are such fascinating creatures, and their wingspan and size is incredible. And the type of prey they are able to catch is a sign that these birds own the skies. A group of teenage surfers found a juvenile great white stranded on rocks. They tried to lift it back into the water, but due to rocky terrain and shallow water, the shark couldn't swim its way out of the ocean. At first, they tried the shark to maintain its consciousness by throwing some water on it, and then they did what they do best: used their surfboard to carry the shark to a better location, where they released it back in the water and saw it swimming to its home. Good work, lads. November 7th, 2017. The world witnessed a bizarre phenomenon when around 140 pilot whales were seen all washed ashore. All of them together. People said that there was a chance that they might have beached themselves, but the reason remained unknown for this mysterious behavior. According to the locals, this wasn't the first time that this had happened, and that sea creatures were seen before washed up on the beach. But such an amount of whales beaching themselves happened for the first time ever. The rescue workers were called, but until they could reach it, it was too late, and the whales were all gone already. When a huge manta ray washed up on the beach, people were a little hesitant to help her at first. But then, two of the men urged the others to come help them, as the giant, helpless creature was in desperate need of their help. Due to the net's traps, the unfortunate animal was absolutely immobilized, and if it weren't for these heroic men, it would have died. They asked everyone to lend a hand, as the time was running out. Everyone sprinted to save the ray at Praia de Costa Dourada in Brazil, and ended up saving the life of a lovely creature. Some fishermen caught a great white shark and instantly might have regretted it that they planned to release it back into the water. But as soon as they did, a Goliath grouper came out of nowhere and literally swallowed the whole shark in one gulp. Poor creature's time was up, I guess. A couple of months ago, on Elands Bay in Western Cape, thousands of crayfish were seen washing ashore. The mystery, however, still remains as to why it was happening. Most of the crayfish were already dead and gone. The ones left were either taken by people for their dinner or they just died there. According to authorities, the crayfish were small and they did not look good to eat. But the dangers and warnings were not enough to stop people. Let's just hope they did not get upset stomachs after dinner that night. We all know Patrick from SpongeBob, and we all love starfishes in the water. Let's just say I'm only a fan of theirs as long as they stay under the water. Because on the ground, trying to walk so slowly, they look nothing but creepy as hell. Imagine walking on the beach with no one around and seeing this creepy fellow sunbathing. I mean, why can't they just stay underwater? With every passing day and every discovery made, we somehow get far, far away from actually getting to know what's under there. For instance, look at this giant carcass of a creature unknown to humans. I mean, after years and years of deep-sea diving and discovering most of the ocean, we still get things which even the scientists don't know about. Even though this video was captured and premiered on Nat Geo, they still had no explanation about it. This 20-foot-long sea creature was first called the remains of a big whale, but then it was never confirmed, which just adds up to the mystery of the ocean. This clip is a true representation of how the ocean can be a beauty and a chaos depending on what the creatures are in the mood for. For instance, in this clip, we see a large whale just passing by the surfer, and there it gives just a little push to the border. But if the whale might have been in a slightly bad mood, the scenario might not have been the same. For now, we'll just enjoy how soothing this clip actually is. Recorded by a tourist in 2019 in Mexico, this clip shows the lone crocodile crawling back to its home like an emperor back to his palace. The people on the beach were horrified and didn't go near the croc till he was back in the water, with no plan to turn around and have lunch, thankfully. It was later known that there was an ecological reserve nearby, which feeds these crocs, and this one was surely returning after a lunch with his tummy full. Or the people on the beach might not have been that lucky. A man was recording the peaceful moments on the beach through his drone when he came across a weird sight. A massive gray whale was seen lurking beneath the clear blue waters, with the humans being ignorant of her presence right underneath them. As soon as they noticed the whale, they tried getting away, but the whale might just be there for a swim, or maybe she just wanted to be friends. But no human tried befriending her, so we shall never know. Okay, let me ask, what would you do if you came across a great white shark stranded on the beach? You'll do what the man in the first clip did, no? You'll tie it up with a boat or something and then free it in the water. I mean, anyone with a sane mind would do that. But no, this man had something else in mind, because he held the shark's tail with his bare hands and dragged it back to the water. I mean, yeah, a very good deed he did, but you'll need to try and be more careful, you know? There was a big chance that the shark might have taken him with it and made a whole meal out of him. With the reason behind this hippo's anger burst unknown, all we know is that he really wants to reach the boat and smash it all up. Captured in 2021, this clip shows an angry hippo furiously chasing a tourist's boat in Kenya. When passing by, the tourists noticed that the hippo was looking at them, but what they did not know was its intentions. Good thing the boat was fast and the tourists were actually able to save themselves from the giant beast. Who knows, maybe he was tired of them tourists being around, you know? A tuna fishing boat noticed a giant fish tangled in its nets off the Mediterranean coast of Ceuta. It was later that this giant fish was identified as the mammoth sunfish, a species classed as vulnerable and not eaten in Europe. It was 3.2 meters long and 2.9 meters wide, making it the biggest ever caught. The fish was first isolated in an underwater chamber attached to the boat before being lifted aboard using a crane, where it stayed for a few minutes, and after that, thankfully, it was released back into the ocean. Just as the title says, it was the largest turtle. And no, this video is not fake. Hundreds of people were shocked when they saw it, and so were we when we did too. These are known as the leatherback turtles, and this one here, which was a pretty large one, might have hidden somewhere to lay eggs, and when done, just came out and went into the water. Now the researchers are surprised, as according to them, these turtles are highly unlikely to come out in the presence of humans, let alone in broad daylight. But I guess they are doing it now. The world was shocked to see the unusual behavior of tiny snails when millions of them washed up on the Fort de Soto beach. Looking from afar, it looks like a black sheet or a black wave on the beach, but go up close and you will see millions of tiny creatures slugging around and covering the entire length of the place, leaving everyone weirded out by this bizarre phenomenon. The videos and images of this went viral almost instantly, and people started questioning the reason. Still, no one was able to give a proper explanation. This video was captured by some tourists in Thailand, and it almost instantly went viral on the internet. From all over the world, people started wondering what these creatures were and what exactly they were doing there. And just as you might have thought, the mystery still remained unsolved. Upon closer look, these little creatures were full of hair and were involved in some kind of ritual when disturbed by the humans. As creepy as this must look, surprisingly, they did not seem to be minding the presence of others a lot. What do you think it was? Do let us know in the comments. On August 16, 2022, a massive squid about 14 feet long with an eye almost the size of a dinner plate was discovered washed up among the rocks on Scarborough Beach in Cape Town, South Africa. Researchers say they don't know why a gigantic squid washed up on the coast, but they speculate that it may have been hit by a ship. Deep-sea species typically travel up at night to feed and then return before dawn, so the squid's demise may have been caused by this behavior. Till now, you must have been kinda used to sea creatures being washed ashore, be it squids, crayfishes, or others. As much as they are a rare sight, seeing a white whale being washed up on the beach is something you will hardly witness even once in your life. Considering the rarity of the phenomenon, locals left no chance to miss it and kept coming to see what lies there of the dead whale, till the authorities came and removed the whale. As it happened in July 2022, they say the investigation is still going to get to the reason behind the whale's death. For now, all we know is that the whale was a female humpback whale, not a male, which the locals thought it was. When large blooms of algae decay, great amounts of decaying algal matter often wash ashore, which looks like whipped cream. And when this happened in Coats Resort Beach in Argentina, the people thought it was really fun to go dive and swim into. On the positive note, seafoam is not harmful. So yeah, if you witness it someday in your life, you can just run, splash, and enjoy it without any worries. Just know that you might come out all sticky and smelling fishy as well. To be honest, they all look like bathing in a room full of shaving cream. August 2019, a team of volunteers spotted a female sea turtle. It might have not alarmed them if it was not for the net trailing out of her mouth. They knew something was wrong and that she needed help. So they got her out and decided that they would do whatever is necessary to help her. It was stuck all through the back of her throat, making it difficult for the turtle to even breathe. To their surprise, she had a small hook stuck in her tongue and a big chunk of the net in her throat. They were able to get it out and then release her in the water. Poor turtle might be so relieved and thankful to the humans. Australia. Well, I'd call it the land of the strange if I could name it, with all those weird creatures coming out of there. And among other weird things in Australia, an alien-like creature was washed ashore and spotted by a man. According to him, it was something that looked different from anything he had ever seen in his life. But if you ask me, those gigantic flies look more ghostly to me than the creature itself. Okay, well, coming back to the creature, to me it looks a little like a lizard and a kangaroo. Or both? I'll just leave it to you guys to guess. It might look shocking to someone watching it for the first time, but for these fishes, beaching themselves is quite a normal behavior. Most fish probably cringe at the idea of beaching themselves on purpose, especially since they can't breathe out of water. But this is something that the grunion fish does rather frequently, namely when it comes time to mate. When females are ready to lay eggs, they'll beach themselves on the warm beach sands and drill their bodies straight down into the sand to lay their eggs safely beneath the surface. They'll attempt to get as far up on the beach as they can to keep their eggs safe from the ocean's waves. Yes, they come to the ground to mate and hurry back as soon as the deed is done. It, however, gives a buffet-like feeling to all types of birds there. This enormous fish was discovered dead on the shore, and because it was so massive, a crane was needed to transport it. There are rumors that the red tide is what caused this nightmare fish, known as a Goliath grouper, to be discovered dead on the beach. Beachgoers found this washed-up giant pretty fascinating, even though this creature could be the stuff of nightmares for others. But it's still sad to see such a huge thing meeting its end in such a way. A very bizarre thing happened when a hairy creature washed ashore in the US state of Oregon. The creature had no face or any other feature through which it could be determined what it was. The people filming it might be the first ones to encounter it, as there are no other people around, and the thing appears to be quite long and big. If you have any idea about what this might be, do let us know in the comments below. This shark beached itself on Santa Cruz. Upon closer examination, it was seen that the shark was injured and that her liver was missing. And this was not the first case. There were a lot of other white sharks which washed ashore either dead or alive, but all of them had one thing in common: missing livers. It remained a mystery for a long time, the questions unanswered. What was happening under the deep waters? Who was causing all this? And then we got to know that the culprit behind this was none other than the killer whales. These ferocious hunters are known to hunt thousands of pound sharks only to snack on their fat, rich liver. The rest of the body is left for scavengers, or it just simply washes ashore like this one did. Meet the Caribbean monkeys who gulp down beachgoers' drinks that they've been snatching. It was all okay to some extent, but then these monkeys crossed all limits and started targeting only alcohol. They frequently get caught grabbing drinks from people on the beach and then acting strangely after becoming intoxicated. I mean, see for yourself what these little things are doing. Although they are legitimately thought of as the nightmare inhabitants of the reefs, stargazers are extremely rare to be found on the shore. A stargazer was discovered by the man who had been walking on the beach when something struck his foot. The man was fortunate because some of these fish have venomous spikes or can electrocute. An electric shock or a toxic shot would result from stepping on them. In addition, they enjoy hiding in the sand and ambushing their victim. So as soon as this man put the animal back in the water, it sank under the sand. This video was captured in Japan when two men were walking on the beach and noticed something not so usual there. They decided to go and get a closer look to know what it was. The creature was moving like a slug, and that is when one of the guys started poking it with a stick, which made the creature turn upside down. And that is when it got all angry and exploded in anger, causing the two guys to run away. In the deep, dark woods lie secrets, and among those secrets are creatures which you and I, or even scientists, might think have been dead for quite long. but in reality, they are just there, wandering far away from human eyes. However, this trail cam made sure to capture one when a two-tone mouse deer was recorded in Vietnam. According to scientists, the species had been extinct for about 3 decades, but the world was shocked when it saw the footage of one alive and healthy, taking a stroll in the woods. The clip might be a little short, but in those few seconds, we see a rare breed who somehow managed to save itself from the hunters and the predators both, and thus survived. In January 2013, while going through the footage of the trail cam left in the woods for days, a guy came across something pretty creepy. He termed it as an alien, but for some people, it looked like a ghost or some unknown creature too. At first, I thought it might just be some distorted bush or maybe an animal, but upon observing closely, the way it moves and stares dead straight at the camera, it definitely isn't something normal. It looks like a woman, but with big, wide, flashing eyes and long hair. I'm getting those creepy goosebumps by just looking at it. Ugh. It all started with a trail cam footage, where an elk was recorded with a tire stuck around its neck. For 2 years, it wandered about his usual life along with the tire. His antlers and his neck grew over time, and it became impossible for the elk to get rid of the tire by himself. The wildlife officials were worried about him and decided to do something. They tranquilized him and tried removing the tire. Unfortunately, they had to cut off his antlers too. But hopefully, he'll soon grow a beautiful pair of antlers again. 2 kids, their curiosity, and a camera led to us getting this unusual footage of Bigfoot roaming around in the jungle. It isn't a trail cam footage, but it was an epic video, and it at least deserved to be added to the list. Look at the size of the creature, and the way it is swinging around its hands. It looks way too much like a gorilla, but we all know gorillas do not walk like that. Gotta say, I'm now more sure of the existence of Bigfoot, and you should be too. Some call them night crawlers, others call them soul walkers. Well, whatever you're gonna call them, this is one of the most soothing, creepy videos I've ever laid my eyes on. This footage was recorded in 2011 in California, USA, and it shows 2 stick-like creatures walking around in the woods. One of them looks like a baby ghost, and the other looks like a mama ghost. Or maybe it's the dad? Well, whoever it is, that's a cute and peaceful ghost family just enjoying their night stroll. I got reminded of Casper looking at them. According to some people, they are souls still trapped on Earth. What do you think? We are all familiar with lions being such ferocious and sneaky attackers, but when do they exactly practice their sneaking skills? Well, this video will show you that. A young mountain lion was recorded on a trail cam practicing all the sneak attacks it needs to be doing the next day. Don't know what it's trying to catch, though it did remind me of my cat's little sneaky attempts on me. The way it slowly moves forward and then jumps suddenly, it's one hell of a cute mountain lion, I'll say. When a wildlife channel puts cameras in the jungle, they just wanted to get some good footage of animals being themselves. What they did not know was that they will get to witness bears swinging their bums and moving like Shakira in the woods. Now, like us humans, bears get itchy at times, but unlike us, they scratch their backs with the trees, and they just love doing it. I mean, look at them. They're making me want to go out and try that. A French photographer set up a camera and a huge mirror in the middle of the jungle to see how the animals will react to their reflection. And he got more than what he expected. Where the leopard could not stop admiring itself, the gorilla thought it was a good opportunity to fight with himself and to show who is better. The elephant did not mind much, but the chimpanzees, well, they wanted to see what they looked like while scratching themselves. I bet the chimpanzees are the only ones who know how to love themselves. Sometimes, while camping, you get uninvited visitors. They can be mosquitoes and other insects if you're lucky. But if you're not, like this guy in this clip, then you might get a visit by a curious, huge male lion and two of his lionesses. The man was peacefully sleeping in his tent when all of a sudden he was surrounded by lions. Good thing he just decided to stay where he was and not try to run away or something. It looks like the lions were just curious about what was happening and had no intention of tearing up the human. Still, the camper had the most memorable night of his life. We do not know the context, but it looks like the deer had one hell of a fight, considering he's wearing the head of another deer as a crown. Or is it like a second head he's grown? What do you think? We don't get to see shimmering lights in the middle of the deep dark woods, unless it is of course some human with a torch passing by. But what this camera recorded were just lights and no humans anywhere near it. In the rural woods of British Columbia, a camera captured some spooky lights. And no, they were not the eyes of any animal either, since no raccoon or deer eyeballs could reflect light in this manner. What makes them even stranger is that they appear to be staring down at the camera from beyond the trees. These strange lights demonstrate why you can never know what to expect from your trail camera, as sometimes you may capture candid animal moments, but other times you may find deeply disturbing footage that becomes a mystery intriguing many people. This unusual occurrence was seen on a trail cam when the Earth was recorded bobbing up and down like it's tired from the continuous spinning and orbiting of the sun and needs a minute to stop and catch its breath. This phenomenon is called breathing Earth, and it happens when the ground becomes a little loose and the wind is stronger than usual, causing it to move up and down like it is breathing. But if someone had to encounter it without knowing what it was, it would undoubtedly be horrifying. You might believe that the Earth is about to swallow you up, but it's not for the faint of heart. This phenomenon is undoubtedly one of the craziest things a trail camera has ever recorded. Usually known as the garbage busters in North America, raccoons are not only annoying the crap out of humans, but bucks as well. For instance, in this clip, the small thieves that were stealing from the fields laid out food were first allowed, but after a few hours and a few more raccoons, the buck's tolerance was pushed to the limit. He decided to act on his own because the food supply was getting short, but the raccoons continued showing up. However, the sheer number of raccoons and their characteristic persistence eventually left the deer feeling rather overwhelmed, which led to the beginning of a small war. A massive beast-like creature was recorded on a trail cam one night. The source of the video remained unknown, but it does not look edited at all, and we can see the creature moving behind the trees in the darkness of the night. For me, it comes under the description of a Bigfoot, so that's what I'm gonna call it. We are all fans of Harry Potter and his mysterious fantasy world, but just imagine what it would be like if it was all actually true. After looking at this clip and this creature, which looks just like Dobby from Harry Potter, I'm starting to think that maybe there is a hidden world of magic somewhere unknown to us humans. The creature looked like it was doing some sort of chicken dance, and by the looks of the movement and those thin legs, it definitely was not a human. Because it was late at night and nobody could intervene, this bear decided to make a snack out of some chickens. He tried to gain access, but it was ineffective, so he tried to eat up the door. But then a strange voice startled him, so he decided it was best to flee as quickly as possible. What actually happened there was that when the chicken's owner, named Haley, woke up in the middle of the night and saw a bear trying to get into her chicken coop, she immediately jumped to a window and shouted at it from a safe distance. To be honest, I'd be scared too, hearing those strange noises she made. This spooky video was captured by some unknown person and then uploaded on the internet. Of course, the world was shocked by this spooky spider-like creature. Or is it a crab? At first, I thought it might be a dog in a spider costume, but upon closer look, it definitely was not that. The only dog who was there looked terrified of this creepy bent-leg creature, and we're not sure what it might be. When a man in Kentucky uploaded this video on Facebook, people were shocked to see the man's front yard was being stalked by a gaunt, bright humanoid creature. It was eager to pounce on the first prey it came across as it moved slowly across the area and stooped down with its back bowed and arms forward. When the video was broadcasted on television, no one was able to identify it, although one Twitter user said they also saw a pale humanoid figure sprinting across their neighbor's lawn. Another user stated something about a monster vanishing into the forest. So it looked like this wasn't the creature's first appearance in that area. A deer buck in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, was caught on a trail camera shedding off its antlers. It might look weird to us, but it's something pretty normal in the bucks community, as all male bucks shed their antlers in winter and make room for the growth of new and stronger antlers each season. This process of antler shedding begins in late winter and early spring. Though I'm still surprised at how it looks like the buck himself was weirded out by the experience, so much that it quickly ran away in confusion. I get it that for the rabbit community, it might have been one hell of a fight, but if we humans see these two bunnies trying to have a fist fight while hopping around in such sync, we can't help but think it's adorable. Doesn't mean that we should interfere though. I mean, who knows? We might end up getting a punch in our face too. Crocodiles are the ultimate killing machines. They just do not care about anyone or anything, even if you're a camera just sitting in peace somewhere trying to record them. Nope, they will slowly sneak up on you, and in a second, you will be between the strong jaws with nowhere to run. A coyote was just passing by through the woods when it happened to lay its eyes upon a trail camera nearby. Might have sparked its interest as it moved near, again and again, trying to grab the camera. After a few attempts, it even succeeded and ran with the camera as fast and as far as it could. The camera had a long and tiring journey with the coyote until it was found all bruised and scratched by its rightful owner. Simply experiencing the monstrous growls of this enormous beast will give you goosebumps. This trail camera captured this deadly encounter between two male bears. It began with one bear warning the other with a horrifying snarl, and then moved on to pouncing and biting the other bear. It was a truly insane fight in the middle of the woods that lasted for a few minutes and ended when both of them parted ways. Bobcats are the wild cat species which hunt and eat a variety of animals. This one, however, got caught on a trail cam when it came across a rattlesnake while going somewhere and made sure to kill it before moving on with what it was doing in the first place. Though we must say that it took a lot of effort from those claws before it crushed and bit the snake's head. That was one brutal fight right there. Following the flood that the snowmelt generated, a mother wolf was seen removing her cubs from their den. The wolf can be seen entering and exiting the den on a trail camera. She had to carry her offspring outside to prevent them from drowning when the snow on the den began to melt over the course of the following days. The mother wolf, who appeared to be terrified in the video, demonstrates how kind and loving she can be by saving all 7 of her babies from drowning while risking her own life. There's nothing that can compare to a mother's love for her children. There are several videos of human fights that go viral online. But people, it's extremely uncommon to see kangaroos fighting, isn't it? I'm referring to a trail camera footage that captures 2 kangaroos squabbling with one another. You might not find this fascinating, but those 2 kangaroos were observed boxing as if they were the FUFC's top fighters. If anyone's wondering what the FUFC is, that's the Forest Ultimate Fighting Championship. The fight broke out when the wild creatures grabbed each other by the neck and attempted to knock one another out. Nevertheless, we can conclude that after their argument, both of them parted ways in peace. It is quite impossible to discern what these lights might be. Others feel it could be something out of this world, such as aliens that conspiracy theorists and believers love to talk about. Some online skeptics claim that it's just a bug flying in front of the trail camera. Do you consider this to be evidence that we are now being visited by aliens, or that they may be there but unnoticed? Maybe not. But what about UFOs or other unusual aircraft flying overhead? Still, we just have this video, which may or may not be what we think it is, cause it is no strong evidence. This hungry black bear was captured on camera by a trail camera as it attempted to chew up the shutter, mistaking it for a honeycomb. It pounced upon the camera with its large mouth and pointed teeth, almost completely destroying the camera lens, before giving up and leaving behind breath fog on the lens. I hope the bear would have found a real honeycomb nearby. A pretty short and blurry video, but this is totally something you wouldn't believe if it wasn't filmed. A weird creature can be seen crawling in a creepy way on the ground in broad daylight. Good thing the kids recording this were at a safe distance. Do let us know what you think about this one in the comments below. Now, this might look nothing unusual to some of you, but let me tell you, having an owl, in fact a great horned owl, having a peaceful stroll in broad daylight while inspecting not just the camera, but the surroundings as well, isn't a sight you get to see every day. For me, I love these majestic creatures, so there was no way I'd let the video pass without mentioning them owls. Lions, we all know, are known for their hunting abilities, but this clip recorded by a trail cam showed how the lions have mastered their skills, even if it is pitch darkness of the night. This lion jumped literally out of nowhere and had the deer in its grip in a matter of a few seconds. The Globe was undoubtedly stunned by this clip from an Indian news channel, which showed a cow and a leopard sitting together, as if they've known each other for a very long time and are trying to catch up after some time. It's still a complete mystery as to how these two got along, because both of these animals are on the other side of the food chain. Perhaps they were nurtured together before the leopard ventured out into the wild. While hunting, this guy came across a weird sight. A deer with its stomach the size of a football. It might even be bigger than that. The deer had a tumor building up right there and was grazing like it was no problem at all. Maybe it didn't hurt that much, but I guess we'll never know because the guy decided to not hunt it that day and let it go. No further investigations were done either to find and cure the deer of whatever horrible disease it was suffering from. On the Sumatran island, a weird creature was seen moving down a dirt road. Some viewers speculated that the figure might belong to the fabled goblin race, who were thought to live in the forests. The bald creature leapt out of the trees as the motorcycle riders were riding down the track. One of the bikers even fell off his bike when he looked at the weird creature, as it started running as soon as the humans got near. Another biker tried to look for the creature as it disappeared into some bushes by the side of the road, and the gang stopped where the man vanished. It was nowhere to be seen. A trail camera video showed a group of bears in the forest eating and playing with a skeleton. The myth that bears don't touch the dead can be said to be disproven, as we now see. The skeleton belonged to an antelope that perished from starvation or in combat with another creature. The bear approached the trail camera and skeleton late at night to investigate what was going on, as the first half of the film was being recorded. The following morning, the bear came back with his friends, probably showing them the cool thing he had found the other night. And they started playing with this skeleton before starting to eat it. Millions of people have viewed this original clip, which is regarded as one of the most convincing and legitimate proofs of mermaid existence to date. In stormy seas, some fishermen recorded an unusual capture in their nets. If you look attentively, you can plainly make out a creature with a human-like statue at one point in the net. No human can survive alone in such harsh weather and choppy water deep in the ocean. The hand of that creature emerges, and yet it was not a typical human hand. Rather, webbed, just as we would anticipate a mermaid's to be. Its body was identical to a mermaid's, down to the tiny layer of skin that connected its fingers. A few months back in Peru, a man somehow recorded a mermaid in a pretty good state, washed up on the beach. It was laying upside down and did not move or anything while the man was recording it. Though one thing's for sure, it did not look like a human at all. Residents of the Israeli city reported seeing a half-fish, half-girl creature in 2009, but nobody believed them until they saw this clip. The mermaid was believed to spend most of her time sunbathing and would disappear beneath the waves if anyone tried to approach her. People were astonished to see that she had a long tail instead of legs, and she jumped into the water as soon as she spotted the boys from afar. These two youngsters were shocked when they got on the beach one early morning for a walk, and this happened to them. I am sure they wouldn't want to visit the beach for a very long time after this incident, as their curiosity was one factor that almost put them in harm's way. Where the two boys couldn't resist going to take a look when they spotted a strange creature on the beach. What they did not know was that it was something right there waiting for them to do exactly what they did. And we have no idea what happened to them after this. People frequently don't want to miss the opportunity to see a legendary creature when it's spotted. And the same is the case for this group of people as they assemble near what they believed to be a mermaid. A creature suddenly appears out of nowhere and lies on the beachside in this viral video from Nairobi, Kenya, where people were having fun. The beachgoers initially retreated in alarm as they couldn't tell what kind of creature it was at first glance. But upon closer inspection, they soon realized that the creature appeared to be human but had a fishtail, and that description only fits one well-known creature: a mermaid. A fisherman who was out in the river expecting a good day and hoping to catch as many fish as possible instead came across a strange-looking creature with a human-like body and a fish-like tail that was covered in pearls and cowries, noting all these unique characteristics. The fisherman recognized the creature as a mermaid immediately. The creature appeared to be dead as it lay on the sand, exposing its white-skinned body. The fisherman quickly pulled out his phone to record the incredible moment. When the video went viral, most people couldn't believe what they saw and expressed their shock. Some even questioned whether mermaids still exist. Washed up on the British beach, this creature looks weird until you give it a closer look, and it definitely looks like a mermaid. The video was posted on Facebook, and people had hundreds and hundreds of questions about it. What was the real identity? Did anyone try to investigate this creature? And why was it washed ashore? And many more. The man who posted it said he was taking a stroll on the beach when he came across this rotting body of a mermaid and said he had no more information about it. Most of the body appeared to be damaged badly, but the parts like the tail, the hands, the claws, and the head remained pretty clearly visible. What do you think it was? While deep diving in the sea along with his camera, a man happened to capture a video which shocked the whole world. A mermaid-like creature was seen swimming in the water. Or no, it was not just mermaid-like, it was a mermaid. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing that the mermaid did not notice the guy just beneath it and went on swimming. Guess we will never know. A mermaid-like creature was sitting on some rocks when some visitors who were kayaking in the river noticed it. Instantly, people rolled their cameras and began recording the event. The blurriness of the footage raises doubts about it being genuine video or not. Perhaps it's a person hiding behind a mermaid tail. It can be and cannot be too. Let us know what you think. The cleanup crew came across a downed tree while gathering trash and debris from the beach after a hurricane. And then they saw a dead mermaid lying parallel to the tree. The skin of the tail is exactly like that of a fish, and the dead woman's body bears no resemblance to a human at all. Therefore, This clip appears to be quite real. The body seemed to be decaying, as if the mermaid had already passed away, and the ocean had dumped her body on the beach during a hurricane. Nobody is aware of the mermaid's fate or whereabouts. Perhaps other mermaids removed her body from the beach as the cleaners fled in utter fear. Although mermaids are thought to be powerful and fantastical, they are not immortal, as evidenced by the case of this dead mermaid that washed up on Florida shores. The remains of this alleged mermaid were discovered by a young man, who then recorded the incident before reporting it to the authorities. From the video, it can be seen that the creature has a human body, but the features of a tall fish, which are characteristic of mermaids, according to many legends. The young man was horrified by what he saw and screamed and shouted while recording the incident. Do you believe this is real? A man encountered a real mermaid while snorkeling in the caverns near Cancun, Mexico. Among a sizable group of snorkeling visitors, he was the only one carrying a camera. When he spotted a passing mermaid, he was underwater shooting a cave network. Since it was dark beneath the water, with only a few rays of light coming from above, the lens captured the silhouette of this mythical creature, which turned out to be a mermaid. This is unquestionably the case. One of the strongest arguments in favor of the existence of mermaids has emerged from this video quite rapidly. What do you think when you first watch this video? That looks like a pot of dolphins, doesn't it? Everyone initially accepts this before looking more closely. In Dana Point, California, a drone captured this video. The entire globe was shocked when it was initially posted on YouTube. People started talking about it when it gained millions of views because they thought it provided solid evidence that mermaids exist. At first view, the creatures appear to be dolphins, but their splashing and water movement reveal that they possess arms similar to those of humans. At first sight, it's difficult to determine whether the images depict dolphins or mermaids, but when you look closer, it all becomes evident. In this brief video, we see a boy when he comes across some kind of tiny skeleton. The child was so horrified by his finding that he dropped the skeleton right away and fled the scene, making it a truly terrible find. By the boy's reaction, it appears to be true because he shivered in response to the spine-chilling experience. Since all we have seen previously is proof that mermaids exist in their full adult form, this is the first time we have actually seen something of a baby mermaid. What do you people think? Was that a baby mermaid skeleton, or was it fake? A mysterious fish-like creature, but bigger in size, was recorded by some fishermen who were so busy celebrating their freshly caught fish that they couldn't pay more attention to the creature which just passed by their boat. Even though it was just a peek, or maybe the mermaid was annoyed by the fishermen shouting it all. Nonetheless, we got some more proof. A boy was recording his surroundings when he accidentally caught a merman on his camera. The merman was probably just chilling on his own when the boy disturbed his me time, and he had to go back into the water. The boy, on the other hand, looked pretty terrified as the camera in his hands started shaking, and he took some time before he caught hold of himself and ran for his life. This video, which is a segment of an Animal Planet documentary, shows two courageous academics who decide to travel inside a submarine to explore the ocean's depths. The video footage lasted just 2 minutes, but it was long enough for viewers to see a strange creature passing in front of a submarine's glass window. One of the tiny crew's bearded and glasses-wearing members looked on and off the level of swimming creatures. These guys were not expecting to encounter a species that would spark a heated discussion on the internet several days later. It appeared when a white hand with membranes on its fingers struck the glass behind them, and when the guys quickly reacted, the creature's eye seemed to shine for a brief moment, even though it was only a few seconds. The video quickly went viral. Another widely held idea is that mermaids frequently appear to young children. as in this entry, similar to the accounts of mermaids' presence and the arguments that follow. A young child saw something far below the surface while touring an aquatic park with his parents. He yelled to his mother to get her attention, but his parents were busy taking pictures of the scene. When the people behind the boy shouted, the camera only turned back to the little boy who was having a sweet welcome from a merman. When the merman saw the people, he became terrified and ran away. At the end of the video, did you see the boy and how composed and friendly he seemed to the merman? A mermaid is seen on a pier. She is perplexed and moving in different directions, as if attempting to find the water, but the surrounding humans are confusing her. With a human-like upper body and a fish-like tail, it does appear to be real. However, it seems odd that although people were observing it, they made no attempt to approach it or make a report of the peculiar incident to the authorities. Regarding the veracity of this sighting, opinions vary. Is this a real video, or was it edited? Nobody is certain. What are your thoughts on this? Comment below and let us know. It's unclear whether this mermaid in Banff, Canada is natural or artificial. It has the traditional Fiji mermaid tail and human body. It's also one of the strangest creatures we've ever seen. The lower half of his body actually resembles a silverfish with a scaly texture that is peeling. He is kept in a glass aquarium and is undoubtedly not what we are used to seeing from mermaids. People have been claiming that it isn't real, but the shop owner where the merman is keeps saying that it is very real, and he has even put some history about it on the display. A group of medical practitioners and security people were observed engaging in unusual behavior in Minnesota. You can see two doctors picking up a body from the ground with their arms, moving it to the men waiting with a stretcher, and then laying the body on it if you watch the video closely. After finishing it, they make sure there is nothing left by going back to the spot where they found it. Then they go, without leaving any evidence that anything unusual happened. I'm not sure if you've noticed, but that creature's tail resembled a mermaid's tail exactly. Despite the video's terrible quality, we can plainly see the tail, which, in my opinion, is enough to prove that it was a mermaid. When monitoring their oil tank, which was situated essentially deep in the ocean, scientists in 2006 obtained this footage. It's incredible how the mystery creature was caught on camera swimming 526 meters beneath the surface of the water. We have no idea what the significance of mermaid video footage in particular is, as they are always brief, and in this one, the thing just really flies across the screen so quickly that it only allows a flash to see it. People are saying that this can specifically be a mermaid. However, that particular detail was not made clear, so we can't really say anything with certainty. A museum in Copenhagen claims that they have a real mermaid skeleton on display. The skeleton looks very well preserved, with the skull, the hands, and the tailbone all in their right places. It appears to have a female pelvic bone, which shows how it was a female mermaid who might have been beautiful when it was alive. Though not much is known, so we can't say for sure if it is a real mermaid or just a made-up skeleton. This is allegedly a leaked video from a 2003 UK Coast Guard nighttime rescue exercise, where the two guards spotted a mermaid. At first, they thought it was a seal, but one of the guards was sure it was something else. They were discussing this when suddenly a strange creature breached out of the water with an upper body and face like a human and a tail. They deserve some leverage here for being there still, as the way the thing popped out of the water in front of the camera must have scared the hell out of the Coast Guard. In 2018, while two friends went to the beach and were recording the sea waves and pretty much just each other, they ended up catching a mermaid-like thing on camera. It was a little far, but if zoomed in, you can see it had arms and a tail, and how powerful its jump was. Maybe it was a mermaid. I mean, it did look like one to me. The folklore and mythology surrounding mermaids are widespread in Africa. They refer to them as water people, and out of dread, they typically avoid visiting the beach alone. There is also a report of several young girls going missing from an African village. They are mermaids and mermen, aquatic creatures. I've got video to back up my claim that I'm not just erecting a castle in the air. Here, you can watch it. It appears to be swimming in the water like a person, but it is moving very quickly and with amazing agility, as if it is gaining momentum from its strong tail. This quick swimming is impossible for humans. Therefore, it dove down far into the ocean. And what was that? A man once captured a mermaid on camera who was seen on a dock enjoying the view of the world above the oceans. It's difficult to tell if the footage is genuine or was edited, but who wouldn't be terrified while filming a creature that no one has ever seen before? Additionally, it doesn't resemble the mythological creatures that we hear about, or how the stories about them describe them. The mermaid had no hair on her head, and she appeared to be raising her hand in a weird manner before jumping back into the water. Maybe it was signaling someone. What do you think? The woman in this video who exclaimed in excitement after seeing a mermaid seemed to have had a real-life experience.
F***ing mermaid. F***ing mermaid!
It might look like to her what she was seeing was a very real mermaid, but it isn't enough to prove it. There have been disagreements over this video, where some people say it could just be an actress rehearsing her role, and others saying that actresses do not go that far into the water without their team and other crew members to help. Don't you think it is a little odd for a woman to wear a mermaid's tail and be there all alone in the middle of the water? A mermaid was spotted swimming underwater by a snorkeler who promptly taped her. We can plainly see how the mermaid is swimming and swinging its tail in the final few seconds of the film. She remained clear of the snorkeler and swiftly swam away from the camera. Though, with the video sources unknown, we can't really say if this is genuine or not. It first looked like maybe a bag stuck in between the rocks, but then the creature jumped up and into the water. So we're not sure if it wasn't just a plastic bag, because last time I checked, bags are not able to jump so high. The man who was filming it claims that it totally was a mermaid. This aquarium in Paris hosts a show every week that is appropriate for both kids and adults and features a real mermaid. This mermaid, Claire Baudet, also referred to as Claire la Sirène, is renowned for her beauty and captivating underwater motions. She moves so smoothly and can hold her breath underwater longer than any other human is able to, raising the issue. Do you believe that this is humanly possible? Several mermaid sightings have occurred in Cape Town. In this video, a mermaid can be seen swimming around a beach before people start to notice her and start to panic. Women and children screaming can be heard in the distance. Some ladies and children were terrified because they thought it was a real monster, because many people assumed it was a human sporting a mermaid's tail. They added that the mermaids don't swim in close proximity to people. However, it might have been a strong, rebellious mermaid. No one knows. A fish which apparently is all dead and dry to the bones. No sign of life in it. And then suddenly, when the man pours some water on it, it's alive again. Or was it even dead in the first place? Doesn't it look really weird when you watch it? This actually is a suckermouth catfish, or more commonly known as pleco, and their special ability is that they can easily survive up to 20 hours without dying out of the water. So yes, even if they look all dried up and scaly, they are not really dead, and just waiting for someone to put them back in the water, I suppose. Just when I started to think that nature cannot surprise me anymore, videos like this come up, and I am just there wondering, what else have I not seen? And about this video, well, people used to think they could outrun crocodiles because they were famous for being strong, but slow at least. But not now, because apparently, Crocs have learned ways of galloping and hopping like dogs, and they have become faster and stronger. So, beware, people.
Chiquita! Come here, girl.
The ocean, deep or shallow, is just full of mysterious things. For instance, look at this clip. 2 little fishes were seen traveling inside a jellyfish. Now, that jellyfish isn't a soft-hearted thing who just thought it would be good to give these fishes a ride. In fact, the jellyfish produces a venom, a pretty deadly type of venom. And little do the fishes know, they need to get out of their hiding spot, or else they might dissolve in there without ever knowing. This video serves as another evidence that mermaids exist. This species can be seen in the sea swimming next to the waves. The long human arms and tail, which resemble a fish, give it a definite mermaid appearance. The video has no reliable source, yet it appears to be the sighting of a mermaid. Well, that's all for today, guys. Thank you for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon for getting updates related to our latest videos.